on where we are. We just finished a big battle. So, Dralmorrer Borngray is dead. There was a ring that was dropped off of the corpse of Dralmorrer Borngray that Demonicus is currently in his possession. The other half of the bargain from the dragon Voaraghamanthar was for a certain tome known as Dark Sermons of Stronghorn Bonebinder, which has not been found in the castle just yet. Rezmir and Azbara Jos were spotted in the castle, although I believe the only person who ever actually saw either of them was Scarlet. Although I do know that Ada at least heard some of what was because of her proximity to what was going on. The rest of you, I'm not sure if anything has actually been mentioned regarding that. There hasn't been very much time for talking. More just a slight recovery after a crazy battle. So, Pharblex Spattergoo has been, his goo has been spattered, and he is no more. You haven't really been seeing many other bullywugs in the castle since the battle. You know that a lot of them were killed in that one room, and they were being chased by a Lizardfolk group. And beyond that, I know Scarlet was looking up in the upper left-hand tower, in the direction that she knew that Rezmir was going. And during that time, you followed, and you came across that large table of treasure, which you pocketed some of it. But there was a lot more than just coin there. You didn't really have a chance to look at it too closely. It was just checking that, you nearly running in despite everything, and then going back to join the rest of the group for a short rest. So, where we are specifically is that the short rest has just begun, and you, Evan, have just popped your detect magic. So, I'll just for the purposes of this, I'll kind of control you as you go through this, and I'll mention some things that you see as you go. As you are going south, because you said you wanted to go clockwise around the exterior of the tower. Am I correct in that?
I already went in these two rooms, but I know you wanted me to go through them again. And then I think I went through this room.
The reason
I never went upstairs.
One of the reasons I was saying we're going to go back just slightly is that from this particular point, the room with the bullywugs, something does flare from your detect magic inside that room.
Oh, cool.
So, if you wish to investigate, you are welcome to.
All right. So inside this room, I can see up to 30 feet, like where it's flaring.
Yeah, and there's some torches that are up in this particular area. You notice that this room is filthy. It looks like it used to be a barracks of some kind in the past, but at this point it looks like it was being used entirely just to house a bunch of bullywugs. It's some empty furniture. Mud is covering a lot of the room. But one thing that you do notice is that there are, in kind of one corner of the room, kind of toward from your vantage point, right over this direction, you notice what appears to be a number of chests.
All right. If you hear an explosion, come get me. I tell that to the group.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
And I go over to the chest.
Here's on his stuff if he blows up.
And how do I check to see if there's a trap? Do I need a special skill for that? Or a special
Let's check for traps. For the sake of this, you don't really have any particular skills for finding traps. Oftentimes it's more of a rogue thing.
Yeah, I figured that.
Tell you what, just for the sake of it, just roll a general dexterity check. Just flat dexterity.
Oh. Okay, with proficiency or no? Saving or just...
No, this is not a skill.
Okay,
this is
so
just
18.
adding your ability modifier. 18? You don't see anything that looks like it would trigger any sort of trap of any kind. It looks like Okay. There are several different chests. You're just opening one of them, or are you going to open
I
one?
check them kind of really quick.
Okay.
The one that's glowing. That's the one.
Oh, so specifically, you're going the one that is basically pinging towards you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you open this, and what you notice is that there's various coins. A lot of it copper. There's definitely some silver thrown in there too, along with bits of jewelry. Nothing too fancy. It's kind of copper and tin, maybe with some ornamental or even some
Well, I'm
semi-precious
keeping track
stones.
of all the loot I've found so far. I'm not going to hoard it to myself. I'm going to share it with the people. So if you just let me know.
Okay. Well, as we go through that, specifically as you're going through, you find there is a small mahogany box that is kind of buried amongst all the copper and tin that you find in this chest.
A box, huh? Alright, I open it.
You open it, and no. You notice that there are 2 vials that are very familiar to it, kind of a bubbling red mixture. These are 2 potions of healing.
Oh, sure.
You also notice that there is another vial.
A mystery vial?
Yeah, it's something that you've never quite seen before. It has, it's this cloudy gray oil almost kind of. It's forming on the outside of this container and then kind of quickly evaporating and kind of going back and forth like this. Not anything that you would have seen before.
Well, I just put it in my pocket. I'm not going to open everything.
Okay. All of the potions?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you spend a couple more moments just kind of going through all the other chests?
I'll loot them since I'm here.
Okay. It's going to take you at least a few minutes to kind of go through all of this.
Well, then I'm not going to do it.
Okay. Well, I mean, but just opening up the other chest, not necessarily accounting for everything, you're looking shit tons of copper. At least, I don't know, probably over 10,000 copper pieces of some kind. It would take a little bit of time to kind of go through it. You suspect it's going to be quite a bit more than that. Note, this is, if you're actually picking up 10,000 copper, that is, yeah, but that is still, you basically, here, actually I can do the math on this really quickly.
Actually, I know about how much it weighs. Because
it's going to be about 50 it's about 50 pieces to the pound. So if I just divide 10,000 by 50, that's 200 pounds worth of basically D&D pennies. There's various silver in there as well as you're kind of going through these things. Various kind of jewelry.
Wow.
It depends on how long you want to take.
I don't want to take that long.
Okay.
I'll come loot it later.
Okay, because you currently are not holding the bag of holding; it's with the other group.
And I'm not going to try to carry that much copper, so I'm good.
Okay. I mean, there's silver in there. There's some other stuff that might be worth picking, but
okay. I was just mostly looking for the magic items at this point. I'm not really looking for treasure.
Okay. You do notice that there is stairs that go up in this particular room.
I'm not going to go up them.
Okay.
So now, what about that gnarled wooden staff that belonged to?
Oh yeah, we briefly went over it. It's
does that one glow at all?
It doesn't appear to be. It seems to be just some sort of arcane focus that's used to kind of channel his spells.
Okay.
Nothing that really. I mean, kind of a very faint. Like there's a residual like spells that pass through it, but nothing that would really kind of say, "Ooh, this is a magic item."
And this is the forge room.
Yes. So this is where the forge is, and you're noticing that this particular area is mostly covered in hammocks. It looks like this is where a lot of the lizard folk stayed. You do notice that there's also stairs that go up, further up this particular tower, and from there, nothing's really setting off your detect magic. And I say at this point because you say it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes worth. You went through that. You probably spent a couple minutes doing that. Let's say 2. That's probably what you spent.
I'm not going to go too far from the party.
Okay, you probably spent about another 30 seconds. You do notice that basically this is the route that you came in. If you look just slightly down, there is a door that is over this direction.
Door. I'm going to stay close to the group. What about here? There's a door right here, right?
Yeah, this actually was opened very briefly. You didn't go inside, but Scarlet did. These appear to be some sort of stables and full of giant lizards.
Frogs.
Giant frogs. Okay.
Giant lizards.
Giant lizards, alright.
And the doors were closed after she went inside, saw a bunch of giant lizards. They looked a bit agitated, and she promptly closed the
She's
door.
calling out that giant lizards are in there, so I'm like, no, next.
Oh, another thing. As you pass by the group, something besides what you can be aware from your normal magic items, because there are certain magic items that you were holding that are picked up by that, you notice that something that Demonicus is holding appears to have that same ping.
Oh. Got something new, huh, Demonicus?
And at which point he kind of holds up the ring and saying, I assume it's this. At which point I actually have an image to show you of what this ring actually looks like. Let's see here. Specifically, it looks like this.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice looking ring. So he is basically, during his short rest, he is examining it. You can examine a magical item over the course of an hour to ascertain its abilities. It basically works a similar way that an identify spell would. But you can do that during a short rest. You don't need to separate the two. So during this time, he's actively looking at the ring and trying to ascertain exactly what it does. But this is, or appears to be, the ring that was promised to the dragon.
Is this a window right here where I'm at?
So, let me see. Yes, that's a window that goes out. I can just, for the sake of it, I can, because I can actually do this. Give me 2 seconds.
I really need to look at it.
That's okay. I can just do that really quickly, and you can look out. So you come up to this particular tower. Two things come to mind. A, you have a pinging that feels directly above you, and it feels like it's on the outskirts of your radius of detection, which I believe is about 30 feet. But specifically about this tower, there must have been a wooden floor of this tower when it was built to cover the dungeon pit beneath it. Now the floor is gone, and the dungeon has been turned into a garbage pit and latrine filled with foul-smelling waste and swamp water to just a few feet below the level of the doorway. The floor above is badly rotted, and large portions have collapsed. Through the gaping holes in the second floor, you see that the third floor is still in good condition. But to reach the stone stairs that circle upward around the outer wall, you must cross 10 feet of indescribable muck.
Indescribable muck.
So, while the map shows these stairs going up, basically what it is that they're kind of broken, and the pit is kind of in between you. If you were to wade through it, you could probably reach up to the kind of where the stairs crumble away and continue up that, where the portions that are not crumbled. Or you could attempt to leap to it.
So it's like liquid?
It's
undescribable.
It's pretty gross. It looks like it's part trash pit, part latrine. The smell is amazing because it's also filled with a bunch of swamp water.
But there's magic.
There is magic coming directly above you on the outskirts of what you think. You feel like if it's not necessarily on the second floor, there's a possibility that it's on the third.
Alright, I'm gonna run and jump.
Alright, so let's see here. First of all, I would imagine with your monk skills, you're probably pretty good at those running jumps. So 10 feet, no problem with that. But I do need you to make a, let's see here.
Oh, smell, constitution or something?
Give me a moment. I'm figuring that out exactly.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Very good or very bad?
Very bad.
Alright, let's see here. So, as you are jumping across, immediately this tentacle shoots right out of the muck. It's this kind of pale, almost kind of peach in colored. it kind of flares out at the ends, and it's covered with what looks to be either spines or teeth or whatever, and it just whacks right at you. And I rolled a natural 18 on this, so I'm gonna say this is probably gonna hit. That would be a 24.
Divine Domain, Warding Flare. Does it have eyes? Oh, crap. Well, I try it. If it doesn't have eyes, it doesn't do anything.
Describe to me Divine Warding Flare one more time. Warding Flare, I believe, is a reaction, which means you can do it as you're being attacked.
Let's see. Interpose Divine Light between yourself and an attacking enemy. When you are attacked by a creature within 30 feet of you that you can see, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
Disadvantage on the attack roll.
Causing light to flare before the attacker.
Okay.
Before it hits or misses.
Natural 1.
An attacker that can't be blinded is immune to this feature, though.
I am aware.
Okay.
So, natural 1 on the second roll. So, you see this tentacle just kind of lashing out at you, and just as it's about to hit you, you kind of do this big bright flash of light coming right directly from your holy symbol, not necessarily blocking, just kind of your entire kind of this sphere of light, and it just like almost scrapes the top of your head, but you know it's nothing but a little bit of a scratch, and you're able to kind of just shimmy right up to the top of it.
Oh crap!
And yeah, you're up there now.
I run. I'm running up the stairs.
Okay, you start running up the stairs, and give me just 2 seconds. Let me switch to floor 2. So, right about
Do I
there.
know where the tentacle came from? Did it come from the top? Or the bottom?
It came from basically around the center of the muck, right up. So if you were to go back the other direction, there's that.
Yeah.
Zoom out significantly. You're on here somewhere. There you are.
Evan's Island.
Oh, god damn it. Sorry, roll 20's been a little wonky recently. I gotta check out the mouse again. That's all.
Yeah, I keep pushing I'm pushing this alt button and it keeps taking me back. Should I go to view all Tyranny of Dragons?
Yeah, Tyranny of Dragons. Yeah, that'll work just fine. Another thing is that if you just hold Alt on the keyboard and use the mouse wheel, that's the zoom.
Yeah, alt keeps taking me out.
It does. That's
But maybe this one, right? This one too.
that's the zoom as well. So I'm gonna figure out exactly why that's doing that. It was loading up the.
You have dark vision. There.
Yeah, so. There you go. I'm gonna make this easier for future maps. Okay, so you're now you're in this particular area. So what you're noticing is that the second level of this particular tower is in really bad shape. You're seeing large holes where the floorboards have completely rotted away or fallen into the muck below, and the floorboards that remain, they're questionable about whether they would support human weight. The beams still seem to be able to connect, but they seem to be kind of slick with this kind of fungus or kind of muck that's right on top of it. So you can either kind of shimmy up, kind of where some of the stairs have kind of crumbled along, or you can try and kind of go across this beam and kind of hop up.
I'm gonna pull out my immovable rod, and I'm gonna like put like this, click the button, kind of use that to kind of brace myself as I go.
Okay, but this is not like a ladder where you have two of them. And to actually move it, you're gonna have to undo it, and then gravity's gonna take effect.
Well, it's gonna be like my railing, my moving railing.
Okay. Are you like when you press the button again to release it? Are you holding on to something?
Wait, are you saying that?
Think about it. If you had two immovable rods, you could
Yeah,
legitimately
yeah.
create a ladder. But the second that you press the button,
Well,
you
is it
lose
that-
all leverage.
Is it that unstable where like I can't even shimmy it with?
No, I mean you're a monk, and this is. I mean it's gonna there'd be a check
It's
of
pretty
some
much
sort.
my immovable.
You do
rod's
also
kind of
notice
like-
that on the opposite side of kind of where you are, kind of across some of those beams, there is a chest of some kind.
Is that where the glowing's coming from?
That is not actually where the glowing is coming
Where's the
from.
glowing come from?
The glowing is still coming from directly above you.
So this is part of the
Yeah,
staircase.
so yeah, this is a staircase that's still kind of twisting up the tower.
I'm not gonna do this one by myself.
You also notice that right at the top there is kind of there's a trap door that kind of leads up to the top, and there appears to be some sort of writing.
I survey it, and I'm gonna head back down to the group. I'm not gonna try to do this on my own.
Okay, so let's move you back down to where you were. So you're back on top of those stairs, and what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna test out this thing's reaction. I'm gonna throw a dart on the opposite side of the room and see if the thing goes and attacks it.
Okay. So you take out one of your darts. How many darts do you have at this point? You occasionally
I have
use
18.
18? Oh yeah, you're fine. So you toss it right by, and really quickly you see and it's just misses the dart as it flings by, and it goes back into the monk.
All right, can anybody hear me?
Over the course of this, I'm also going to say about 4 more minutes have passed, probably, between
Yeah.
these couple different moments. So you probably have about another 4 minutes of your spell. The muck is still. What are you doing?
I'm gonna take my short rest.
Right where you are?
Yeah,
Okay.
up at the top.
All right. So, for the sake of this, I'm going to say the rest of the group saw you go into this tower about 4 minutes ago, and haven't seen you since. So, you are beginning your short rest. You guys, are you doing anything in particular during this? I know you're just resting. Are you doing anything else?
Playing with the puzzle box.
Playing with the puzzle box. Okay. Let's
Resting.
just resting.
Yep.
Okay. So everything is pretty quiet and still over the course of this. You haven't seen any lizard folk in a while. A lot of them have kind of moved off to that one tower, and not too much has happened over the course of this. So we are waiting the full hour. I'm going to say you're able to complete that short rest. So you guys can roll as many hit dice as you wish.
Can we do one at a time, or how does that work? Do you have to
Yeah.
do them all?
I'm not entirely sure, but let's do one at a time just for the sake of this. I'm going to look into that. We've done... How many short rests have we actually done in this game?
Not many.
Okay, you get your superiority dice back, I believe.
Yep.
That means Demonicus also gets his bardic inspiration back.
I get my key points back.
All of them?
All of them.
Nice. How many did you spend over the course of that?
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them?
Yeah, like
Okay,
six.
so
we
he
have
was
like
at...
one more left.
Give me one moment, I'm also doing Demonicus's. stuff here. Ooh, rolled an 8 on the D8 for the first one. So that brings him up to 26. Oh, 2 and he's at max. There you go.
Once I start feeling better, I say, "Can anybody hear me?" You guys hear that?
I guess we know he went into that room and came out, so I guess
Where's
we
that
should
been?
probably go check it out.
Do we need a
Are you crying out from? Do you at any?
Yeah, sure. I'm crying out.
Well, okay, you know what I meant. Are you trying to?
Smells real bad in here.
The funny thing is, are you doing that immediately? Because everybody completed their short rest. Because if you were doing it at the start, that meant you're just doing that for a while and nobody did anything.
I didn't say, "Can anybody hear me?" But I don't think anybody heard me. I was like, "Screw it, I'm just gonna short rest."
Okay, so are you guys doing it besides the actual short resting? Are you doing anything in particular?
Nah, I think I made her. They're
Okay.
squeaking in the background.
So at which point Demonicus goes ahead and says, "This ring here is pretty damn interesting. We still have to give it back to the dragon, but in the meantime, this is that ring. Read it out."
Ring of Evasion, rare, requires attunement. 3 charges, regains a 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. When you fail a dexterity saving throw while wearing it, you can use its reaction to expend one of its charges to succeed automatically on that saving throw instead. Nice.
So that is promised to the dragon.
Who's gonna wear it in the meantime?
That's a good question. Would anybody like to? It would take another hour to put it on. Demonicus could put it on immediately because he was spending that hour.
I'm not even next to it.
Demonicus will wear it if nobody else is going to for right now.
I mean, I'll wear it, but I like to hog all the magic items, so.
How many magic items do you have?
3,
Or how many of them are attuned?
2.
2 of them? So you could have one more. You could attune to 3 items at once. Well,
I'm squishy, so those dex saves might save me.
okay, yeah. You know what? For the time being, sure, we'll do that.
Unless anybody else wants it. Anyone?
Honestly, for the sake of brevity, let's just say you're attuned to it. There is some time. Perhaps at the beginning you decided, oh, I want to be the one to see it. Okay. Meanwhile, so you have that, and that is the one promised to the dragon. So, you spend your short rest. Your detect magic has faded, so that little ping that you're feeling above you has diminished at this point. Who is going to see who at this point? What is anybody doing?
Help?
Yeah, we should, hey guys,
Let's go check on the boy.
yeah, let's go see what happened to Evan, I guess.
Okay, so you make your way over the mound of bodies that's between you guys.
No one cleaned those up?
Who's to clean them up? All the laborers basically did revolution because you guys said to.
Some of those are laborers too. So.
Some of them, yes, some of them are
You
laborers.
clean up your own body right now. Good hell, this is such a...
So,
What has Evan gotten
Help?
himself into?
So-
Wait! Don't come any closer.
at which point Demonic is just gonna go like, oh, and he just kind of all of a sudden he does a smell like, oh.
Oh, thanks for the warning.
It's more than that. I'm a little stuck. There's a creature in here.
A creature?
Creature, huh?
In this? What kind of a creature?
Something alive there.
Prepare a ranged attack, and I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay, so so who's doing what? I hear prepare a ranged attack and I'll help. Who's
I will pick up my bow and throw an arrow.
okay? Where are you doing? So Demonicus just kind of steps out of the way, and where are you aiming exactly?
I don't know.
I do what I did before. I throw one of my darts in the opposite corner.
Okay. The moment that you do so, you see as it kind of comes right out of the muck and attempts to grab it, and once again it just slightly misses before it kind of right into the center of the muck.
Did you fire at it? No.
No.
Oh.
Are you gonna move?
No.
Yeah,
I threw the dart
Yeah.
on the opposite corner of the room, and it came out.
Yeah. So
Like,
now I
you
know
didn't-
where it
you
is.
didn't
You
fire
you
it.
have an idea of where you saw it come out.
Yeah.
I guess I should have said ready.
Yeah. I was just supposed to attack it then.
Yeah, but
What's
it's
the-
okay. I'm
I'm
stuck
not gonna
here.
kill it with one arrow. So. Are you gonna move if I shoot or?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm stuck. I've been here for the past hour.
Well, you saw where it was, right?
Yeah.
But it's submerged, right? It's like in the like Star Wars.
I'm glad that somebody got that right. It's gonna be the trash compactor in Star Wars. That the creature inside this is
All right, we'll move.
similar-ish. You don't obviously see what's connected to the tentacle, but if there's something connected to the tentacle.
Well, there is some magic and a treasure chest up here, so there's a chance the tome that we're after might be up here. I didn't really.
Is everybody at max HP after the hit dice?
No.
I rolled one
No.
on mine, so
You only rolled one.
I rolled two, but one was a 1. So
Oh,
I could roll more, but
I
Well,
took
it's a little
two
late at
dice
this
out
point.
and they were like a 5 and a 6, but I really hadn't rolled them. I kind of just placed them, so I decided to roll them and I got a 1.
dice are cool today.
I'm like, I should have just left him and said that was my roll.
thank you for your honesty. All right, so what's the plan, guys?
Alright, is there like a pebble or a rock or something we can throw?
Oh, there's
here?
plenty of crap around here. I
I'll
mean,
throw
it's
my
a
clipboard
Throw.
Are you
From
throw?
use.
Wait, are you?
My custom clipboard. It's used. It's all, you know,
No,
It's
not the
days ago.
clipboard.
So are you doing that?
for the good of our friend up there. I will. I just
So
gotta-
you.
Alright, once it comes out, I'm
Okay.
gonna try to shoot it. So.
ready?
I got a dart. I'll try to throw
Okay,
it at
well,
it.
you guys just.
Okay,
Alright.
so
I'm ready an Eldritch Blast too.
Oh yeah.
Demonicus is going to ready a vicious mockery.
Alright.
Upon seeing it is what he's gonna. That's gonna be his trigger.
Dear helm, guide this clipboard. I throw it.
Your religion is spreading. Next thing you know, you're throwing clipboards.
I'm not sure if I should be offended or.
Just throw the darts.
Okay, everybody that threw something, make your attack roll on this. Because you actually saw where it came out, I won't impose disadvantage on that.
You
because you weren't
distracted me.
Ah.
I'm like, helm? What?
there. What'd you roll?
What the hell?
11.
11? Mm-mm. What'd you roll?